Martin on your destination for high school sports, playonsports.com. Tonight's matchup, the D1 section title game, the Oak Ridge Trojans against the Granite Bay Grizzlies. The Trojans come in tonight's action with an overall record of 12-1, while the visiting Granite Bay Grizzlies come in with a record of 10-3. Let me welcome in my broadcast partner, Neil Martin. Neil, thanks for coming out, man. Good to have you. It's been a while since we've done a game together. Glad to see you back out here.
Great to be here with you again, Ben. Last year was great. Hopefully this year will be just as awesome.
And you look at these teams, very similar on the year. You look at their team scoring averages. Granite Bay is going to give you about 36 points a game. Oak Ridge, 33 points a game. Rushing yards per game, Oak Ridge 180, Granite Bay 249. So both teams are going to ground and pound you on the ground, especially in a wet condition like tonight. You're going to see a lot of that. Passing yards per game, Oak Ridge a little better than Granite Bay at 178 to 123. But I mentioned, Neil, these teams very similar. You look at their total yards per game, 359 for Oak Ridge, 372 for Granite Bay. So both teams like to run. Oak Ridge likes to throw a little bit more than Granite Bay. Both average right around 35 points a game. Should be a very close ball game here tonight.
Should be a very high-scoring ball game. Both teams do have good defenses, but they also have very high-powered offenses. They know how to put up points at will, but they do it in slightly different ways. Granite Bay with more of a high-powered running attack. Oak Ridge, like you said, tends to pass a little more, and that might be a disadvantage tonight since it's been windy and rainy all day long.
And I'll get you some players that we're going to be looking out for here today. For Oak Ridge, Blake Martin, he averages about 70 yards per game on the ground. John Cooley for Granite Bay, 94 yards a game. Passing, Jason Samuels for Oak Ridge, 176. Grant Caraway doing the quarterback duties for Granite Bay at 121 yards per game. Total yards per game, Caraway is going to give you about 135. Samuels about 179. Tackles, leading tacklers for Oak Ridge is Nick Gordon at 14 tackles a game. That's impressive. You look at Granite Bay, Cameron Smith averaged 12.5. Sacks, Claiborne about 2 sacks a game for Oak Ridge. You got Hirschberger at just under 1 sack a game for Granite Bay. I mentioned both teams right around 35 points per game. And I think which team can throw better might be the difference here today, because both teams are going to want to establish their game on the ground. And in these wet conditions, that's going to set up the play action. So I think whoever can, get the passing game established is going to have the advantage here tonight. Getting ready for the D1 section title game here at my alma mater, Sac State. Happy to have you with us here on CIF Sac-Joaquin.tv. We're going to pause for the national anthem right here on the Play on High School Sports Network.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect.
Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream.
Camera 3.
Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect.
Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream.
Camera 3.
Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect.
Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream.
Camera 3.
Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect.
Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream.
Camera 3.
Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect.
Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream.
Camera 3.
Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
And welcome back to the PlayOnSports.com pregame show. That was a nice rendition of the national anthem by the Oak Ridge Marching Band. And so we're getting ready for kickoff here, scheduled for 7:30. We're at 7:30 right now, so any minute now. We still got to have our captains in the coin toss out there. But so Granite Bay, led by Coach Ernie Cooper. He's been there forever. He's a staple here in the community. A great coach. 10-3 on the year out of the Sierra Foothill Leagues. As far as Oak Ridge goes, the Trojans, led by Eric Calaveri, and they're 12-1 on the year out of the Delta River League. This game very important, Neil, because in past you win the section title and you get a very good shot at going to a bowl game. This year they threw in the regional playoffs, so it's very important to get this win not only for your section title, put up that banner in the gym, get a chance to play in the regional game next week, and then for a state bowl, an automatic berth the following week. So big game here tonight and a good crowd on hand.
Yeah, and like you said, it is much more important this year than it was in previous years. Last year, of course, Granite Bay won the D1 title but did not get a state bowl bid. This year they would be nearly guaranteed a bowl bid if they won. Oak Ridge would have the same luxury, and chances are they would play Bellarmine in the next round. That, of course, still to be determined, of course, but Bellarmine heavily favored in their section championship game in the Bay Area.
Absolutely, as the players... the captain's now on the center field. That's going to wrap up our pregame show live here from Hornet Field. When we come back, we'll have the opening kick right here on the Play On Sports Network.
We can get a player up here.
Ah, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream.
Camera 3.
Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Ah, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you in one shot.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you in one shot.
One match away from immortality.
All right, so we're back here getting ready for the D1 section title game. Granite Bay and Oak Ridge. Granite Bay, the visiting team. They're going to be their loyal fans on the far sideline there. They are in the all-white uniforms with the gray helmets, the green trim and the green numbers. Oak Ridge is the home team at 12-1. All navy blue with the yellow stripes, yellow numbers, and the navy blue helmets with the yellow logo on the top. Granite Bay won the toss, and they elected to receive. Set to kick off for Oak Ridge is Josh Wellman, and we're underway. It's taken by Knapp at the 5-yard line. He dances out about at the 18. A return of 13, and Granite Bay will start 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line.
And as they come out here for their first offensive drive, they're going to immediately try to establish their run game. They have 3 great running backs in Tony Ellison, Johnny Cooley, and Taft Partridge. All of them run the ball very effectively. And Taft Partridge is actually a 3-year varsity starter for Granite Bay, so he has a lot of great experience.
Yeah, no, I've been watching Partridge ever since he was a sophomore. He's a good player. Here's split back formation. They'll send a man in motion. They give it to him on the end around. We'll see a lot of this from Granite Bay. And that was Tony Ellison, the junior, only for a couple. Oak Ridge has a good defensive line. They do a good job of stopping the run on the year.
Yeah, and they are led by big linebacker Zach Claiborne. He's their leading sacker, one of their leading tacklers, and he is just a defensive power for this Oak Ridge defense. Look for him to be the key in stopping this high-powered Grizzly rushing attack.
Cooley, the ball carrier, and he's got a first down.
That was a great run by Cooley. Good blocking out on the outside. That's a play you won't see very often from Granite Bay, but of course they are going to try and throw a few wrinkles here in this section title game. They started to bring a man in motion, but he didn't even motion all the way to the outside of the line and then stop to set up a crackback block on the linebackers, and then Taft Partridge just led Cooley the rest of the way.
So 1st and 10 now for Granite Bay, opening drive, moving left to right on your computer screen. Thanks for joining us here on CIF Sac-Joaquin.tv. Here's the end around to Ellison. Ellison has a burst of speed into Oak Ridge territory down to the 48.
And again, that was all set up by a big block by Taft Partridge, able to seal off the end. He got a great block on Colton Georgie, the junior for Oak Ridge, and that sprung Ellison for a really nice gain.
So led by Ernie Cooper, Granite Bay. Impressive opening drive here so far. Split back formation. Here's a first throw, short drop, tipped at the line of scrimmage, but caught by Ellison. Ellison makes a move, and he picked up about 5 yards.
And that is how this Granite Bay offense uses Ellison. He's really their all-around player. He has, get this, 810 rushing yards on the year, as well as 471 receiving yards, and that was through 12 games. My stats not updated from the last game. What does it look like on your stats?
Well, he's got 41 catches on the year for 464 yards, averages 11 yards per catch, and 8 touchdowns through the air. And a team that runs a lot, here's a power I, pinch back. This time they'll go to Cooley. Cooley has a first down and more, all the way down to the 32-yard line to pick up a 14.
And that's what Cooley will do to you. Similar to what Arik Bird was used for in this Grizzly offense last year. He's the power back when the speed back Ellison gets tired, and then occasionally they'll get some tougher yards from Taft Partridge. Typically they'll give it to Partridge in more short yardage situations, but they will use Cooley in situations just like that one.
Okay, Cooley on the year, 232 carries for 1,225 yards, averages just under 6 per game, 94 yards per game. They go back to him, has a seam up the left tackle. Oh, makes a move. Has close to a first down. He'll pick up the first down, move the chains, a pickup of 8. He averages 94 yards per game, 12 rushing touchdowns for John Cooley, the senior on the year. A lot of experience on the offensive side of the ball for Granite Bay.
Yeah, they did have a lot of returning starters last year, and that has led to a very high-scoring offense this year, of course, again led by the 3-year starter, Taft Partridge. He's sort of their moral leader, but you get new talent in Johnny Cooley and Tony Ellison, and they have just torn up the field this year.
So here's a split back. Ellison in motion. He gets it, trying to get outside. Good job of the Oak Ridge defense filling that seam, led by 42, Thomas Malman, a junior. Nice job of containing there, not letting Ellison get outside.
And you say a nice job of containing right there, but Granite Bay still able to gain 3 yards. Still, that's the first real good defensive play we've seen by Oak Ridge to stop the run. It's going to be a battle in the rushing game, especially tonight when it's been so wet and rainy and windy as well.
I mentioned Granite Bay, 249 yards on the ground per game. Split back again. They'll send Ellison in motion. This time they go back to Cooley, up the left guard this time, and he's very close to a first down. Finally brought down by Austin Tabb. And also Chandler Christie in on the stop. Looks like a little bit short, so 3rd and about a 2. About 1.5, actually. They got to get to the 9.5, and they're on the 11.5.
Look at the drive that this Granite Bay rushing offense is having so far. 7 rushes, 65 yards already.
And they've just thrown it the one time. Ellison in motion again. You're going to see a lot of the same formations. They give it to Ellison again, and he's pretty close. I think forward momentum's going to give him the first.
Depends on where the refs spot it, but it does look to be very close, but it does look like they got it. Just barely. Nice, powerful run there by Ellison.
Official timeout. They're going to call for a measurement. Opening drive of the game.
This is a key measurement right here. If Oak Ridge can stifle this Grizzly offense right now so deep in their own territory and force them to kick a field goal, that would be a huge moral victory, especially with how well the Grizzlies have been driving the ball so far. And if any defense can do it, it would be this Oak Ridge defense. These two teams both have two of the highest scoring offenses in the section and two of the best defenses, so would not be surprised if Oak Ridge could get a stop here.
Now, Brown, the senior, does have 7 field goals on the year, so that's always an option. But you want to, after a drive like this, looks like they're going to be a little bit short. So decision time here for Ernie Cooper. I think he's already made up his mind. They're going to roll the dice here and go for it. It's a running team, 250 yards per game. You got to be able to pick up half a yard, right, Neil?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm actually surprised that Cooper is going to go for it here. He's typically a more conservative play caller.
Yeah, he is.
But
you're looking at a 28-yarder. In high school, never easy. I did mention Brown had the 7 field goals on the year. 8:16 left to go, opening drive for Granite Bay. It started at their own 18. D1 section title on the line. Good crowd here at Hornet Field. They're going to go for it. Split back with Cooley and Caraway in the backfield. Here comes Ellison at a full sprint. Now he's back the other way. They give to Cooley. He's got the first. He's going to get it. Not by much, but he drags the line all the way down to the 6-yard line. So Cooper rolls the dice, and it pays off here early on for the Grizzlies.
And that's a huge first down off of a big time. That was just an effort play right there. Cooley stood up at the line, but kept the legs churning and got a little help from one of his offensive linemen to pick up a couple extra yards in the first down. Huge play there by the Grizzly offense early.
7:50 to go and counting. Now they're going to go with the offset eye. Cooley, the back man. They pitch it back to him. Cuts inside. Is he in? Touchdown, Grizzlies. 6-yard touchdown run by John Cooley. And the Grizzlies strike first for Cooley, his 13th rushing touchdown of the year. And it's 6-0 Granite Bay.
And credit that whole drive not only to the legs of Cooley and Ellison as they were getting the touches on every play that drive, but also the blocking by the offensive line and fullback Taft Partridge. They were blowing up holes so big you could drive a truck through them there on the first drive.
Yeah, Cooley did a nice job of finding that hole there at the little A-gap. Extra point is good. 82-yard opening drive for the Grizzlies that capped off by a 6-yard touchdown run by John Cooley, his 13th rushing touchdown of the year. We'll take a break in the action. 7:40 left to go. You're listening to the D1 Sac-Joaquin section title game only on the Play On Sports Network. Back to the Play On High School Sports Network High School Football Game of the Week, live from Hornet Stadium on the campus of Sacramento State. The D1 section title game for the Sac-Joaquin section, and Granite Bay off to a great start. We mentioned they averaged 36 points per game. They already have 7 here with less than 5 minutes into this one.
Yeah, and right there on that first drive, you saw what a high-powered offense they are. Didn't even have to throw the ball a whole lot either. Oak Ridge's defense might need to be a little bit concerned with how well the Grizzlies were able to run. 10 rushes, 76 yards, so 7.6 yards a carry on your first drive. That's not too shabby.
No, that's really good. Here, the ball falls off the tee. So let's try it again, guys.
It is a little bit breezy out here.
Want to thank Sports Information Director Brian Berger for setting us up with our own stat monitor for tonight's game, which is always nice. We're right here at the 50-yard line. Best seats in the house, nice and dry, alongside our in-game producer Brian Hassler and our newly married videographer Tim King. That goal was out of bounds, so that's going to start, at the 35.
Yeah, and there again, we just mentioned the windy conditions here. That might have been part of the reason why Cooper decided to go for it on that 4th down. Didn't want to try the field goal with the wind as breezy as it is right now, and looked like the wind just caught that one and pulled it out of bounds, so Oak Ridge gets great field position here. That's a great opportunity for them. Look for them to try and do a similar schemed what the Grizzlies did on their first drive and established the run using their three big backs, Blake Martin, Josh Wellman, and Tanner Hughes.
Give you some numbers for Oak Ridge on the year. I mentioned 12-1 on the year. They average 180 yards on the ground. Out of the power I, it's Samuel set to pass, and it's incomplete. Let me give you some numbers on Samuels on the year. He's one of the captains. He's a senior. Good build for a quarterback, 6'4", 185. He is on the year 167 of 277, 60% completion rate for 2,290 yards, averages a $176 on the year through the air, for a game on the year, 26 touchdowns versus just 6 interceptions, and a QB rating of 108. So the senior, Jason Samuel, is going to play a key factor in tonight's game. He's one of their leaders. I mentioned a captain. He's got some good numbers on the year for a run-oriented team. Power I now, 2nd and 10. Pitch back. And nothing doing there. How about the defensive line for Granite Bay? Making an early statement here, stuffing the run. And that was by Brenzy.
Yeah, and this Grizzly defense, again, another one of the big defenses in this section. Oak Ridge and Granite Bay both have great defenses, and that was a great play. Just instantly got penetration off the line, able to break into the backfield and really get the runner off his hole and make the tackle in the backfield almost.
So passing down, you got to think 3rd and 8 here. Opening drive for Oak Ridge. They trail 7-0, moving right to left on CIF Sac-Joaquin.tv. And that's going to be a whistle down. That's going to be illegal procedure on the offense. So back them up 5 more, going to be 2nd and 13. Got a lot of guys that can get it done for the Trojans as far as the rushing attack goes.
Yeah.
They have, I mean, their main horse is Wellman, 150 carries for 886 yards, but they have about 6 guys that have over 100 yards on the year. So it's a well-balanced attack to pick up that 180 yards per game. Now they're going to send trips right, passing down here as Samuels out of the gun. Granite Bay going to rush 5. Samuels gets protection, throws back the other way, and he's got a lot of room to run. It's Dwelly. Dwelly into Grizzly territory all the way down to the 45-yard line. And pick up a 25 on 3rd and 13. And do the old right waggle, throw it back left.
Yeah, that was all scheme right there. A lot of misdirection, had all of your receivers running routes on the right side of the field, really distracted the defense. All of the safeties were pulled that way, and that just left Dwelly wide open to make that catch down the left sideline and pick up a nice gain for Oak Ridge.
Now into Grizzly territory, power I. They're going to send it back to Martin. Play action to Martin, and it's tipped. They try to go to Dwelly there. Try to go back to Dwelly. Pass is incomplete. Dwelly on the year has some good numbers. He's a senior. That was his 36th catch. He's got 490 yards, 13 yards per catch, averages 36 yards per game. He's got 5 receiving touchdowns.
Yeah, and interesting that they've gone to him twice already here. He is one of their best playmakers in the passing game. Defense right there for the Grizzlies nearly picked the ball off. That was safety Aaron Knapp who almost got the pick right there.
Dwelly will play both ways, listed as a tight end linebacker. 6'5", 200 senior. Here's a rush up the gut and positive yards for about 6. It goes this time, they go to Wellman, and Wellman's got some good numbers on the year as well. 150 carries for 886 yards. Adds 11 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, and that whole play right there, that solid 5-yard pickup was just, again, set up by excellent blocking. The center and the guard on the left side of the line for Oak Ridge just blew open a hole and really just allowed Wellman to walk right through it.
So now we have 3rd and 5. I don't know why our scoreboard isn't telling us the down and distance. Good thing we have our own stat monitor. Here's play action. Rolling left, waits for his man. What a grab! All the way down to the 14-yard line.
Wow, and you want to talk about effort plays right there. Byron Spain, the 6'3 senior, just climbed the ladder and got that one down the left sideline. I thought for sure that was going to go over his head, but man, oh man, You know it's a championship game when a player tries that hard to make one catch.
And Spain, that's his 51st catch of the year. He's got 816 yards coming in, 16 yards per catch, 62 yards per game. He's got 11 receiving touchdowns. So between Spain and Hughes and Dwelly, he got some weapons at the skill position, that's for sure. They go to the fullback this time to rush straight up the gut to Tanner Hughes. Hughes is 6'1", 220-pound fullback. Picks up a couple. It'll be 2nd and 7 at the, we'll say the 14 and a half.
Look for Oak Ridge to go back to the air here on 2nd and 7. Having a lot of success right now in the passing game. Rushing game, not doing so much so far. Only 8 yards on 3 carries, but they have 48 passing yards here, so.
Offset eye. Samuels to throw. Looks for single coverage. He had what he wanted out on the outside edge, trying to go back to Spain, the senior. And he had single coverage out there. Just, I think, Samuels thought he was going to be an inside shoulder pass, and Spain thought it was going to be an outside shoulder pass, and they were a little miscommunication there. So it'll be 3rd and 8 now from the 14-yard line. Opening drive for Oak Ridge. They gave up an 82-yard touchdown drive to Granite Bay on their opening possession, looking to even things up here at the D1 section title game. Empty backfield. Spread formation, trips right, 2 to the left, and they're going to put Priest in the slot to the left. Look for him. Good protection, just a 3-man rush by the Grizzlies. Stepping out of it is Samuels, but he's going to be tackled. Nice job of staying with the play. That was big 7'8" Luke Jarvis, senior, 6'3", 210.
Yeah, and he is the big nose tackle for this Grizzly defense. This Grizzly defense runs sort of a hybrid 3-4-4-3. They have their big defensive leader, Bo Hirschberger, who's a hybrid D-end outside linebacker. So they'll switch him in and out to mix up their defensive formations and try and confuse offenses. And right there, the nose tackle got a big tackle right there.
So it's going to be about a 27-yarder. Plenty of height, plenty of distance, and it's good. I want to give credit where credit's due. Did we see who kicked it? I was looking down at my stat sheet. Looks like
that was Ryan Lamb, the junior kicker.
Ryan Lamb, thank you very much. And for Lamb, he picks up his 5th field goal of the year. His longest is 37. So he picked up his 5th field goal. 4 minutes exactly left in the first quarter. 7-3. Granite Bay on top. You're listening to the D1 section title game only on the Play On Sports Network.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you in one shot.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
And welcome back. 4 minutes to go in an action-packed first quarter. Granite Bay scored a touchdown on an 82-yard drive, and Oak Ridge got a field goal on a 27-yarder. It's bobbled at the 5. Take it out to the 22-yard line. And that time it was by, looked like
it's Tony Ellison.
It was Ellison, okay. Gives me a chance to give you some Granite Bay stats on the year. I didn't get a chance to do it. Their quarterback, Callaway, 130 of 197. 66% passing rate. Threw for 1,580 yards, which is pretty good for a run-oriented team. 121 yards in the air per game. 26 touchdowns versus just 4 interceptions. Got a QB rating of 122. So Caraway does what he has to do, Neil, in a run-oriented offense. Here's a sweep outside, cutting back. Big trouble for Oak Ridge all the way out to the 40-yard line. A rush of 19 yards on first down. And Granite Bay continues to have success on first.
That was Tony Ellison again. The speed back gets the sweep around the left side. Partridge once again lead blocking. It's one of the core plays of this Grizzly offense. And right now, it is working perfectly.
Yeah, Ellison approaching 1,000 yards on the year. coming into today's action, he had 119 carries for 903 yards, averages just under 8 yards per rush. They go to the fullback this time to rush right up the gut into Oak Ridge territory, a gain of 12 and a first down Grizzlies.
And that's the first time we've seen Big Taft Partridge tonight. Usually plays where he gets the touches are plays where the offense is only really trying to get 3 or 4 yards, but right there, they use him on 1st and 10 and pick up another first down.
Yeah, Partridge, 91 carries on the year for 523 yards, just under 6 yards per carry. He's got 6 rushing touchdowns. And as Neil mentioned, a 3-year starter here for Ernie Cooper and the Grizzlies. Here's a short drop. They go outside and maybe just a pickup of a couple. Maybe just try to keep the defense honest and mix in a run pass there on first down.
And Oak Ridge defended it absolutely perfectly. The DBs on that play read the pass right off the bat and were able to stop Ellison for only a gain of 1. That was just a very well-defended play by the Trojans.
Absolutely. As we look onto the new Wellness Center up to our left, a $15 million facility that was built here at Sac State a couple years ago. Good renovations here to the locker room here at the south end zone as well. It's a beautiful stadium. A lot from what it has been in the years past. They go to, it looks like Ellison on the end around, and look at that burst of speed all the way down to the 20-yard line. Unbelievable. Pick up a 24 yards.
Yeah, and one of the players on this Grizzly team told me in the preseason that Ellison actually ran just below a 4.6 40-yard dash as a junior in high school.
Wow.
So he's incredibly quick, and we've seen it several times here early on. Already 68 yards rushing.
Yeah, and Ellison, I mentioned 903 coming in, so he could easily surpass the century mark, or the 1,000-yard mark, I should say. 2 receivers to the left, as this time they're going to send Towery in motion. They go back to Cooley. Cooley does a nice job of, he's a good, powerful rusher in between the tackles. That time he ran up the left guard for about 6.
Yeah, and he's a really versatile back. He's very powerful, like you just mentioned, but also has a burst of speed. When he gets out in open space, he can be dangerous. Not as dangerous as Ellison, which is why they don't use him on the outside as much. You'll see him much more between the tackles like we did right there. But once he gets into that second level of the defense, watch out. You could be in trouble.
So 2nd and 5 now. Ball on the 16-yard line. Play action, rolling right. Throwing, has a man open, but he threw behind him. So Caraway's pass incomplete. Looked like they tried to go to Graber, the tight end. 6'5", 220, he's a big target.
Yeah, and his most amazing asset is his ability to jump. He can jump higher than many of the players in this Grizzly offense. And they have a nice fade route to the corner of the end zone that they like to run with him when they're in red zone situations. So look for them to maybe go to that here a couple times tonight when they're inside the 15, 10-yard line.
1:55 left to go in the first quarter. Trips left. Another passing down. They're going to set up a screen out to, looks like Ellison. Ellison's going to get the first down.
Simple play there. Just a little screen and a quick little swing route by Ellison. And he's able to pick up a first down. And that was pretty good defense by Oak Ridge. Just well blocked by the Grizzlies, though.
We got another measurement coming here. 1:36 left to go in an action-packed first quarter. Both teams scored on their opening possession. Grizzlies got the touchdown. Trojans settled for a field goal. Going to be a little bit short, so we saw Ernie Cooper go for it earlier, but it's actually only going to be 3rd down. So, that was 3rd.
Yeah.
So it is going to be 4th and short now. Grizzlies 1 for 1 so far on 4th down conversions. You got to figure they went for it the first time. Similar, about the same exact place on the field. I believe the last one was at the 4. No, the last one was inside the 10. This one's going to be at the 11.
So Cooper has to make another big judgment call, and I think, yeah, like you mentioned, because it's so windy, he's not going to send out Colin Brown to kick probably, even though he is, like we mentioned, a more conservative play caller. I would say look for Partridge here.
They rush up to the line quick, try to maybe get a quick snap here. Oak Ridge in a goal line D. They go to Cooley. He jumps over the top. One of the most exciting plays in football, and he has it. Love that play.
And we saw it last year in the D1 championship game when Granite Bay played Pleasant Grove. In the closing minutes when Granite Bay was trying to close out the 6-point win, Arik Bird did a similar play to get a first down, which clinched that game. And you are right. It is one of the most exciting plays in football, especially when you have athletic running backs.
Maybe our videographer, Tim Keene, can get us a glance there at the flag, moving right to left. And so that's probably why maybe Coach Cooper decided to go for it here. High winds here at Sac State. Play action, they go to Cooley, and that's picked up nicely by the Oak Ridge defense. In on the stop, Nick Gordon, the senior. And as we approach the 1 minute mark here of the first.
Trojan linebackers on that play hit their gaps perfectly. They saw instantly it was going to be a run and made sure that Cooley had nowhere to go with that football. Everywhere he would have looked, the gap would have been filled. That is just textbook defense right there, and it worked to perfection.
2nd and goal now from the 9. Second possession for the Grizzlies. They scored to go on top. Caraway under center. He's got Cooley and Ellison in the backfield. Played action to both of them. Has his man in the corner. Touchdown Grizzlies. That's too easy. Steven Graber on the play action. 9-yard touchdown pass from Caraway. The Grizzlies rocking and rolling early. They lead 13-3.
And there's that fade route to the corner that I told you to watch for with the tight end Steven Graber. They love to throw that play when they're inside the 15 to 10 yard line, and once again worked to absolute perfection. And Grizzlies are now up by 2 possessions. They're looking pretty good on offense so far.
Yeah, they really are doing a nice job of mixing the pass and the rush. Extra points is good. So for Caraway, his 27th touchdown pass of the year. And for Graber, the big tight end, his 11th touchdown reception. So between the two of them, you're looking at 38 touchdowns. That's unbelievable. We'll take a break in the action. Grizzlies rocking and rolling early. They lead 14-3 with 28 seconds left to go here in the first on the Division I Sac-Joaquin section title game live from Sac State. High school football game of the week here on the Play On High School Sports Network. Live from Hornet Field here at Sac State. It's a pretty good kick here, end over end. It's going to be taken at the 15-yard line. Looks like it's by Priest. He's stuffed right away. A return of just 4 yards. So he's tackled at the 25.
Oak Ridge needs to get some of the momentum back in their court here on this drive. Last drive, they got held up in the red zone for a field goal, and they really need to get some points on the board here, whether it's a field goal or a touchdown, just to get some momentum back on their side and maybe use that to carry them back into this game and hopefully take a lead.
Yeah, no, early on it looked like Granite Bay's the team that's 12-1 and Oak Ridge is 10-3. Offset eye. Play action going for the long ball into double coverage. That's a dangerous pass because it was never there. Good coverage downfield as they're trying to go to Spain, but good safety help over the top. That one wasn't even close, 2nd and 10.
Good defense by cornerback Nick Grace and free safety Aaron Knapp on that play. Make a good team in the secondary, and Aaron Knapp has really been one of the best playmakers in this defensive secondary for the Grizzlies all season. He's a great player to watch.
Trips left now, out of the gun. Looks like Oak Ridge can 10 on sticking to the air here. See if they do a draw, which they do. No. Here comes the rush. Set up the screen. They go to Wellman. Wellman breaks it through a seam and has a first down to pick up a 14.
Well, and as a defensive lineman, you know that when you're able to rush the quarterback that easy, that the offensive linemen have to be letting you through, and the linebackers weren't able to clue in on that quick enough and realize that it was a screen. And as a result of not diagnosing the play quick enough, Wellman picks up an excellent first down for Oak Ridge, 14 yards.
We don't go to Wellman too much out of the backfield, just his 8th reception of the year. End of the first quarter, it was all Grizzlies. Granite Bay leads Oak Ridge 14-3 right here on the Sac-Joaquin High School football game of the week.
We can get a player up here. Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream.
Camera 3.
Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here. Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream.
Camera 3.
Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com.
Welcome back to the Play On High School Sports Network, along with Brian Hassler and Tim King, and my broadcast partner, Neil Martin. I'm Ben Schneider. Happy to have you with us here on CIF Sac-Joaquin.tv. Oak Ridge now moving left to right after the first quarter change. Power I, 2 receivers to the right. They're going to run to the left side now, cutting back right. Nothing doing there as Blake Martin is going to be stuffed for a loss, actually.
That was a great tackle there by Vince Milo, the senior linebacker for the Grizzlies.
Also Hirschberger in on the action. Just a fun name to say. 6'2", 230. He's got good speed for a linebacker.
And he is one of the best defensive players this Grizzly team has. He's actually gotten quite a bit of looks from colleges, especially Ivy League schools, interestingly enough. He's interested in Yale.
Okay. 2 receivers now to the right. It's Priest and Spain, split right. Good protection. Throw to the left side. It is caught by Spain.
That was a nice shoelace catch by Spain. Second really great catch we've seen from him so far tonight. Of course, that awesome jump on the left sideline earlier, but then right there he manages to keep 1 foot in bounds and makes an excellent, excellent catch.
Yeah, no, he's been a big target for the Trojans all year. It'll be 3rd and about 4 from the 46. Offset I for the Trojans. Looking exactly like Cal Berkeley, exactly color scheme. Play action going deep. Oh, and I'm not sure if that was batted down or what exactly that was, because they tried to go to 62. Gregerson, who is a tight end, a senior, but it's incomplete. I think even if Gregerson makes the catch, they're going to be short of the first. So interesting play call there, and Oak Ridge is going to have to punt.
Yeah, once again, Vince Milo, the linebacker, was right on top of that play, and like you said, even if he had made the catch, probably wouldn't have gotten enough of the first down.
So Jacob Sipes pretty much does it all for the Trojans. Wide receiver, quarterback, DB, kicker, 6'4", 175, a junior, will punt. Not a great kick. Going to be out of bounds, placed at about the 33-yard line. We'll take a break in the action. 10:42 left to go in the second. Grizzlies 14, Trojans 3 in the Sac-Joaquin Division I section title game from Sac State.
1 match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you in 1 shot this.
Granite Bay 2 for 2 on scoring drives so far. Offset I for Caraway and the Grizzlies. They'll give it to Ellison. Ellison tries to cut around on the edge and picks up about 3. But slippery conditions, you can do a whole lot of cutting out there.
Yeah, and like we've seen so far tonight, we've had a lot more of in-between the tackles running than I think you would typically see from these two teams. But Ellison has been getting a fair amount of those end-arounds, and that's the second one we've seen go for less than 5 yards.
Ellison has good numbers on the year. He's in motion again. They give it to Cooley, though, up the right guard. And he's tackled for a short gain by Nick Gordon.
And again, we see another tough in-between the tackles run. And Cooley not able to get a whole lot out of it. Oak Ridge's defense, if they can put the Grizzlies to a 3-and-out right here.
They got to get a stop.
This would be a huge, huge, huge defensive series for them.
3rd and 3 now from the 44. They shift 3 guys. Caraway under center, offset I. We go to Cooley. I love the call. Say, hey, we're going to rush the ball. Do your best to stop us. They needed 3. Cooley gets 9.
Yeah, and it looked like Oak Ridge's defense was a little fooled on that play. I think they were expecting the pass, seeing as it was 3rd down. But Cooley able to pick up a fair amount of yardage and definitely enough for the 1st down.
So ball just inside of Trojan territory. Split back formation for the Grizzlies. As this time they send Towery in motion. To run up the right side for a couple. Partridge the ball carrier. 9 minutes left to go in the 2nd quarter. Grizzlies lead the Trojans 14-3. Granite Bay looking to go back-to-back D1 section titles. As Neil mentioned, they won last year. They beat Pleasant Grove, and Pleasant Grove won the year before. To run up the left side, it's Ellison. Ellison patiently waits. Another nice stop there by Gordon. He's everywhere for the Trojans. It's going to be 3rd and about 6.
Once again, Oak Ridge gets Granite Bay into a 3rd down. This time it's a little bit longer. They're going to get another chance to make a stop here. They really need to capitalize on these big 3rd downs. And I think the Grizzlies definitely should pass in this situation.
Granite Bay beats Pleasant Grove 30-24 right here on this same field last year. 3rd and 6. Caraway to throw, rolling right. Throws across his body, and it's almost intercepted. Incomplete. So Trojans get the stop, but Ernie Cooper hasn't sent out his special teams yet. Would he roll the dice here?
I would be incredibly surprised if he did so. And Granite Bay does have a little interesting quirk in their offense, and the quarterback, Grant Caraway, is also the punter. So
so you always have to keep that in mind.
Yeah, they can definitely run fake punts very easily, but I think we'll see a punt here.
But keep the defense honest. I kind of like the
call.
Wow,
they're going to
go for it because Caraway under center, trips right. Here we go. Nothing like a section title game. Lot of drama. Caraway going to run, and he's going to be tackled. So Trojan's going to take over with great field position, and that gets the crowd on its feet. That's a big risk there for Coach Cooper.
Yeah, and once again, that's the 3rd, 4th down tonight we've seen him go for it. This time, though.
But the difference was the first two were less than a yard.
Less than a yard. This one's 6 yards.
I don't like the call because you punt it, you stick him down. The defense has been holding.
I'll be perfectly honest. I don't like it either. And if you were going to go for it, at least make it a fake punt or something more quirky than just a rollout play-action pass.
Because they only had 2 receivers to go to. Good coverage downfield for the Trojans. So finally something to cheer about it for the Trojans fans. Trips right. Looking to throw left, has his man, good yardage there on first, gets away from one guy, picks up about 8. They go to Dwelly. He's a big target.
That's his
6'5",
second
200.
catch of the night. His first, of course, went for 25 yards. We haven't seen him since that first big offensive play for Oak Ridge. That was a solid catch right there. And they're going to need to keep doing short little pass plays like that. That is Granite Bay's weakness. They're definitely their weakest unit is their secondary. So little 5-yard pass plays like that, chipping away, will get you some points here eventually.
Power I, 7:20 to go in the first half. Granite Bay showing blitz. Here they come. They bring the heat. And able to get away with it and pick up a first down. They needed 6. They get about 14. And that was Josh Wellman. Wellman's got some good numbers on the year. 886 yards coming in with 11 rushing touchdowns.
And can you sense the momentum starting to swing back a little bit? Oak Ridge makes a big stop, and now they're driving.
I'm surprised Coach Cooper went for it there, but spread formation now with trips right, 2 to the left, empty backfield for Samuels. Low snap. Samuels just going to have to jump on it, but he picks it up, and he's going to try to scramble. And he's dragged from behind. Nice open field tackle there. made by Conan, the 6'2", 205 senior. Yeah, had he got by Conan, he had a lot of room to run.
He did. That left sideline was wide open. The DBs were all turned around covering their receivers downfield just in case he had tried to pass. He could have gotten a first down and more there had he been able to get away from Conan, but Conan displaying some nice athleticism to catch up with the QB.
And I was really surprised. I thought Samuel's smart thing there is, especially with slippery conditions, just to jump on the ball. But it actually paid off. He ended up picking up about 4 yards. So 2nd and 5 now from the 31. Ooh. Almost a false start. They run a little pass out into the flat, a first down, and rushing up the sidelines. Big play there by Tanner Hughes. First time we've called his name here today. But Hughes gets his 11th reception of the year. And just like that, the Trojans are rocking and rolling into the Grizzly red zone all the way down to the 13-yard line. Well-designed play there.
Again, just another one of those short little passes that go for extra yardage. This Grizzly defense, like we mentioned, weak in the secondary and also not very fast in the secondary. So if you can get those little dinky passes out on the edges, you could pick up some big yardage on just little high-percentage passes.
Absolutely. As I said, Dwelly in motion. Now he goes from the right side to the left side. That's 7 down linemen. Run it straight up to gut to Wellman. Nothing doing there. Maybe a yard or two.
Looked like a flag was thrown on the left sideline.
We haven't had a lot of those. We had the false start early. That's the only one I can think of. Well-played game. But both these coaches are outstanding. You got these teams ready to go here tonight.
Both of them real class acts, real into the game. Both of them longtime coaches of their respective teams. And, you know, the big matchups obviously on the field, but you could also make the argument that we have a premier matchup on the sideline as well.
Coach Calavera and Coach Cooper playing their own chess match there. Illegal procedure on the Trojans. So it'll be 1st and 15 now. And once again, thanks to Sports Information Director Brian Berger. He's been doing this job a long time, ever since I was a student broadcaster at Sac State years ago. He did a good job. He got us a stat monitor, which has been a big help because the scoreboard doesn't even have down and distance here at Alex G. Spano Sports Complex. So thanks again to Brian Berger for hooking us up with that. 2 receivers to the right, 2 to the left, as they're going to send Hughes in the backfield. Another flag comes down. It's a quick pass to Priest. Priest gets down close to the original line of scrimmage, but we'll see. Well, this is usually in the direction of a hold.
Yeah, and I was going to say false start, but I think you're right. That flag was not thrown before the snap. It was thrown a little bit afterwards, so I think you got that spot on. I think it's going to be a hold. And that would be a shame because that was a nice pass and yardage they needed.
Start, yeah.
Wow, illegal procedure again.
So back-to-back penalties for the Trojans here. Man, that's going to be 1st and 20. They got to get a first down to about the 3-yard line. You get 1st and goal if they can make it to the 3. It'll be 1st and 20 now from the 22.
Well, and talk about shooting yourself in the foot. You were starting to get big amounts of momentum back on your side, deep in the red zone, and then you just shoot yourself in the foot with 2 penalties. If they don't score a touchdown here, they're going to be pretty upset with themselves.
They picked the wrong time to get their first 2 penalties of the game. Now Trips left with Priest, Martin, and Spides. Looking right now, looking left, set up the screen. They go to Martin. Martin gets a lot of the yardage back, so they get a good chunk of it back there. I like that call. Don't try to get it all in one shebang.
Well, once again, just those little 5 to 7 yard passes. You see what those are doing right now. They're working out very well for Oak Ridge. And the best part of it is, especially in windy conditions like tonight, they're not having to take too many risks slinging the ball downfield. The one time we saw him do that earlier, he threw into double coverage, and it would have been picked off had the wind not carried it a little farther.
Trips right now as they're going to split Dwelly to the left. Look at him. He's got single coverage left side. A lot of times the right's a decoy. See, now they're going to go back left. And did I call it? Dwelly to the end zone. They'll do that. They'll send Trips right, kind of like a decoy, try to bring the safeties over there. Then they'll go to Dwelly in single coverage to the left. But it's incomplete.
And that's the second time we've seen that play tonight. The first time, Dwelly got 25 yards out of it. That time, though, the DB's a little bit more prepared for it. And even though it was single coverage, I think that Nick Grace, who was the DB on that play, saw it coming a little more.
So clock stops with 4:42 left to go in the first. And Granite Bay on top 14-3 right here on the Play On Sports Network.
This is a big third down.
And it's going to be 3rd and 12 now from the 14. They got to get to the 2.5 for a first. Hughes in the backfield. Picks up a nice block, throw across the middle. That's a dangerous pass, and it's picked off. And a big hit at the 10, but I'm not sure what Samuels was thinking there, because he threw that into where about 8, no, not 8, but I'm saying about 4 Granite Bay defenders were, including 2 of the DBs.
Yeah, that pass was picked off by the leading tackler for the Grizzlies, sophomore linebacker, Cameron Smith. He is a real prodigy for this Granite Bay defense. He actually was the starting quarterback for the freshman football team, transferred to middle linebacker.
It's a big switch.
And he's been their leading tackler and gets the big pick right there.
It just like Partridge says, when he was a sophomore, got a lot of run. Now it's Granite Bay's turn. They get the stop in the red zone, and just like that, a big burst up the middle. Rumbling, bumbling, stumbling out to the 41-yard line. A pickup of 30 yards for Partridge.
By the fullback, nonetheless. And there again, you see another Granite Bay player who started out as a sophomore, one of the leaders of this team, picks up a huge rushing play, and all of a sudden, the pendulum has swung in the other direction.
I mean, look at the stats so far. Ellison with 74 yards, Cooley with 73, Partridge now with 42 after the big 31-yarder. Ball at the 41. Grizzlies dominating offense, defense, and special teams here early on. They'll send Ty Cerna out to the left and put sideline warning against Coach Cooper. He likes to get excited. Yeah. But a good guy. I remember talking to him when we first started doing games out of Granite Bay. Just real down to earth, real football guy, nice guy. Can't tell who's in the slot there to the left.
That's going to be Ellison.
Okay, so Ellison in the slot to the left, and Graber is split left. Split back formation with Ellison and Cooley in the backfield. Grizzlies on top as Ellison now in motion. They give it to Cooley off the right guard, and Cooley's got big yards all the way out to the 44.
Had to hurdle a defensive lineman and then got into open space, and there we see the speed. You haven't really seen that a whole lot tonight with those little in-between the tackles sort of runs, but he has speed too. He's not as fast as Ellison, not as agile either, but he definitely has some boots of his own.
So Cooley picks up 16 on first, and the Grizzlies back into Trojan territory, looking to add to their 11-point lead. Cooley and Ellison in the backfield, offset eye. Look at Cooley spinning his way out of one tackler. What a run. 9 yards for the senior.
And just like that, we see the other element of Johnny Cooley's running game. Both of those past 2 plays just show the real contrast he has in his running abilities. First play, the speed, and then you see the power bouncing off of tacklers. And 3 tacklers missed their stops right there. And Cooley with a nice gain. He's having himself a game so far.
Yeah, he really is. He's 3 more yards away from the century mark. And we're still in the first half. Caraway doing a nice job of getting this offense in a nice flow. Ellison in motion. They'll hand it off to Ellison, looking for the sweep. Cuts back outside. Has the first down. Cuts inside. All the way down to the 34. Make that to the 24. Pick up a 9 when they needed a half a yard.
This is incredible by Granite Bay. After that run, they have very nearly doubled Oak Ridge's total offensive yardage with just their rushing yards. 219 rushing yards so far.
They're only 30 away from their game average. And the Trojans came in with a good defense. Granite Bay looking for back-to-back titles. Caraway sends Ellison in motion. Actually, it was Towery in motion, and Ellison gets the call from only for a couple. Tackle on the play made by Valdez and Lamb.
And right there, you see the disadvantage of running with the fullback. Not your fastest guy, so if you can't get good blocking and that hole doesn't open up, Typically, he's going to be stopped pretty quickly, and right there, Partridge only able to get a yard.
We're approaching the 2-minute mark here of the first. Grizzlies on top 14-3 and driving. Caraway rolling to his left. Yeah, can he get away from this guy? He does, and wisely just throws it away. What an athletic play there by Caraway, the senior.
What a heads-up play. Knew not to trying to keep the play alive, as he would have had 2 more D linemen in his face.
And Claiborne was right on him, too. Update from Palo Alto in the Pac-12 championship game. Cardinal lead the Bruins 27-24 with 4:50 left to go. .203 left to go. Neither coach has called a timeout. They're just letting their kids do it. I mean, these kids are well-conditioned, well-disciplined. We've only had a handful of flags. Same play, Caraway rolling left. This time he'll throw to Cooley, and Cooley close to a first down inside the Trojan red zone, down to the 18-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and about 3.
And that's only the 5th pass Granite Bay has thrown tonight. Really haven't needed it a whole lot. The rushing game has been working to perfection. And, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I guess is what Cooper's living by right now.
And a correction, that was 3rd down. So it's going to be 4th and short. Granite Bay 2 for 3 on 4th down conversion. So already in the first half, they're going for it on 4th for the 4th time. They're going to give to Ellison, and Ellison has it easily. It looked like he lost the ball, but he picked it up. So 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line. The Grizzlies rocking and rolling. Now this is where Coach Cooper can bring out the playbook and use those 3 timeouts. You don't have to pass. You don't have to rush necessarily. You don't have to pass is what I'm trying to say. You can rush because you have the 3 timeouts. And that's what Granite Bay does best. So we'll see what they do here.
Look for Steven Graber on the left side of the offensive line right now to maybe run that fade route here later.
Oh, that's going to be intercepted at the goal line. Same exact play we saw down here on the Trojans' last possession. Caraway, I should say, wishes he had that one back. Cardinal will never throw back across the field against your body. And it's made by a guy we've called a number of times, Nick Gordon, gets the interception. So back-to-back interceptions on the goal line.
And that's what you call tunnel vision right there as a quarterback. You get one receiver set in your mind. Usually it's your first read. And in your mind, you're going to get the ball to him no matter what. But in that situation, his intended receiver had 4 DBs on him. You got to pull the ball down, look for your next open man, but just not able to do that right there. And Oak Ridge capitalizes. That's a big turnover.
Big turnover indeed. For Gordon, his 2nd interception of the season. Run up the left guard for a couple. So now Trojans maybe just going to go conservative here, take their lumps and take an 11-point deficit into the... But it could have been a lot worse as Caraway threw across his body into coverage. He wishes he had that one back. It looks like the Trojans are just going to play it conservative here. You don't want to turn it over deep in your territory. And they will get the ball to start the second half. So that could be another factor into their decision here to go conservative. Good ball game here early on. They run it, and that should be the last play of the first half unless Coach Cooper decides to call a timeout, which he will not do. So, ladies and gentlemen, 1 half of high school football is in the books. That's going to do it for the first half with the Granite Bay Grizzlies leading the Oak Ridge Trojans by a score of 14-3. We'll take a break in the action, come back with our halftime show right after these words from our local sponsors. Once again, your halftime score, Granite Bay 14, Oak Ridge 3, right here on the Sac-Joaquin High School Football Game of the Week.
1 match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you in one shot this.
1 match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you and one-shot this.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you and one-shot this.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you and one-shot this.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you and one-shot this.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you and one-shot this.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you and one-shot this.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you and one-shot this.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you and one-shot this.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you and one-shot this.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you and one-shot this.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you in one shot.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you in one shot.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you in one shot.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you in one shot.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you in one shot.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you in one shot.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you in one shot.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you in one shot.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you in one shot.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you in one shot.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you in one shot this.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you in one shot this.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you in one shot this.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you in one shot this.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you in one shot this.
to the PlayOnSports.com halftime show where Granite Bay leads Oak Ridge by a score of 14-3. And scoring plays for Oak Ridge, they got a 6-yard touchdown run from Cooley and then a 9-yard touchdown pass from Caraway to Gerber. For Oak Ridge, a 27-yard field goal is all they have so far. Let's take a look at some first half stats. And you can see Granite Bay with 14 first downs to just Oak Ridge's 5. Rushing yards, Granite Bay rushed 28 times for 225 yards. As for Oak Ridge, 9 rushes for 35 yards. Passing yards, 26 for Caraway and 101 for Samuels. Total offensive yards, 251 for Granite Bay, just 136 for Oak Ridge. And penalties, none for Granite Bay, 3 for 15 yards for Oak Ridge. Time of possession was dominated by Granite Bay, 14:34 to 9:26 for Oak Ridge. Third down conversions, Granite Bay is just 1 of 5. Oak Ridge is 2 for 5. Fourth down, Granite Bay 3 for 4. And red zone chances, Granite Bay is 2 for 3. Oak Ridge 1 for 2. But the big difference is there is that Granite Bay scored 2 touchdowns and Oak Ridge just got the 1 field goal. Rushing yards for Granite Bay, Cooley 13 rushes for 97 yards, a 7.5 yards per carry with a touchdown. Ellison has 10 for 88. Taft Partridge 4 for 43. Caraway's 5 for 9 with 26 yards. Does have a touchdown and an interception. He was sacked once. Receiving leaders for Granite Bay, Ellison's got 3 for 9. Gerber 1 for 9. That was a touchdown. And Cooley 1 for 8. For Oak Ridge, Josh Wellman's got 3 rushes for 16 yards. Samuels 2 for 9. Blake Martin 2 for 6. Hughes 2 for 4. But that's your problem. You only have 35 yards of rushing. Samuels had a decent first half. He was 7 of 14 for 101 yards with that crucial interception at the goal line. Receiving yards, Dwelly's got 2 for 31. Spain 2 for 29. Hughes 1 for 19. Wellman 1 for 14. So I would say Granite Bay, Neil, dominated all assets of the first half, offense, defense, and special teams did a good job of on the kickoff return coverage. And Oak Ridge will get the ball first. It's very important for them to get something going here on this opening drive.
Any points they can get on their first offensive drive will be absolutely vital to the Oak Ridge Trojans if they want to get back in this ball game. You're down by 11. Both of these defenses typically step it up in the second half after making some halftime adjustments. So I expect there probably will be as much or maybe even a little bit less in terms of points scored in the second half. And I think Oak Ridge needs to have a good first offensive drive, set the tone for the second half, get really into an offensive rhythm they haven't had the whole game, and maybe spread the ball out a little more with your passing game because that really seems to be all that's working.
Absolutely. And so both teams are out on the field. We'll take a break in the action. We'll come back, give you your second half after these words. Once again, your halftime score, Granite Bay 14, Oak Ridge 3. We'll be back with the kickoff for the second half right after these words right here on the Play On Sports Network.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff. All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream.
Camera 3.
Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff. All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream.
Camera 3.
Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff. All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream.
Camera 3.
Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff. All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff. All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff. All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff. All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff. All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff. All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful.
As my broadcast partner mentioned, it's going to be very important for Oak Ridge to set the tone here in the second half. Their offense has looked very sluggish here early on. They settled for a field goal in their opening drive where they were able to move the ball well, and then drives that stalled, and they had a pick in the end zone, which will always kill you. So very important opening drive here coming up. Second half getting ready to go here on the Sac-Joaquin High School football game of the week. And the kick by Priest, and we're underway. It's fielded by Wellman, and Wellman out to the 25-yard line. Correction on the kick, it was Colin Brown.
Here comes Samuels and company, and they look pumped up. Hopefully they made some good halftime adjustments, and they'll be able to move the ball a little bit better.
All right, so 6 seconds in, and Granite Bay defense are going to rush 4, trips left. Here's Samuels, throws to his right. It's caught by Dwelly. Dwelly makes his 3rd reception of the night, and that's good for about 8. Going to be 2nd and 2. Good play there coming out of the half.
Yeah, and just another one of those simple 5 to 7 yard throws, and ends up going for a gain of 9. And that is what Samuels and this offense is going to need to do to drive the ball against a really skilled and talented Granite Bay defense.
2 receivers to the right now. Can open up the playbook on 2nd and 2. Let's see if they do. They're going to rush it, and he'll have the first down. It's Blake Martin. Martin's 3rd carry here tonight.
I like the call right there. It was just simple, and they didn't really even need to open up the playbook like you said. I mean, they just went with a simple yet effective play and got the first down.
First and 10 now from their own 45. 11 minutes to go in the second. Power I. With Hughes, the fullback, as the lead blocker. To pass. Left side. Gets his man Spain. Spain picks up about 6. brought down by Aaron Knapp.
Another one of those middle-range throws. Those are, whereas Granite Bay's rushing game is what has been working for their offense. Those little middle to sort of beginning to be long-distance throws have been working for this Oak Ridge offense. They need to keep doing that and let Samuels get in a rhythm, because if he can do that, he can pick apart a defense.
Play action. Rolling right now, keeping the ball and rushing out of bounds about 2.5 yards short of the first was Samuels. Brushed out of bounds by Vince Milo, who has a twin brother, Tony Milo, on the team, a couple of linebacker seniors. 3rd and 3 now into Grizzly territory. Good drive so far for Oak Ridge, but they got to convert here on 3rd. That's in their 3rd downs there in the first half. They were across the middle, almost intercepted. So now on 3rd down, they were 2 of 5, now 2 of 6 on 1st downs. It looks like they're going to roll the dice here. They trail by 11. 10-11 left to go in the 3rd. The defense, they feel, can get the ball back at any time. Trips left with the fullback, Hughes, in the backfield. Granite Bay going to rush 4. They go for the quick strike. They get the 1st down to Sipes. And Sipes, actually they go to Dwelly. And Dwelly's 4th reception. That's the most of anybody here tonight. So they go to their big target there on 3rd down, Neil, and pick up the first, keep the chains moving.
Well, and that's the right way to do it. Go to your best player, out on the sideline, quick pass, pick up the yards you need, nothing fancy, get the 1st down, and you got 4 fresh sets.
Started at the 25-yard line, now all the way to the Granite Bay 43. Hughes, and they go back to Hughes. Hughes and they go to Hughes out of the backfield. Hughes only has a handful of catches on the year and try to maybe catch Granite Bay off guard there.
Jack Dockham was not fooled, though. The junior defensive back for the Grizzlies read that play, able to get good enough coverage on Hughes to force a high throw.
9:44 to go, opening possession for Oak Ridge. 2 receivers to the left, Hughes in the backfield, as they'll split Priest to the right. Looking left, stepping up into the pockets. Good pocket presence here. Going for the long ball. And now to down, but it's going to be pass interference. Nice late play there. It looked like Dockman in coverage. They try to go to Spain. Good job of throwing up in the pocket by Samuels. And it's going to be a pass interference. It's going to be 15-yard penalty against the Grizzlies. So that'll move the chains again.
Well, I'm curious to see who they call it on here, because that call could have gone either way.
Either way, yep.
I think you're right, though. This one looks like it is going to go against Dockham. And the junior, after making a great play, gets called for the Grizzlies' first penalty of the game.
Yeah, no, that's a big point. So Oak Ridge rolling. Remember, this drive started at their own 25. 9:36 to go. 23-yard line, 1st and 10 after the pass interference. And as Neil mentioned, the first call against Granite Bay here tonight. Hughes in the backfield. They'll split Priest in the slot. Sipes split left with Spain split right. They fake it to Spain. Now they're going back to him. Oh, Spain comes back. It's incomplete. So they try to get him on the double move. Good coverage downfield. Right, Dockham. A good-looking play there. They would have had it, too. Spain just off his fingertips with 9:32 to go. It'd be 2nd and 10.
It's interesting. Dockham is playing in the strong safety position right now, which is typically played by the senior Spencer Castingway. And I'm a little curious as to whether that might be because of an injury or I don't know it, but they're throwing to his side of the field a lot.
Sipes and Priest split right. They'll hand it off to Wellman. Wellman's their leading rusher. Gets a good rusher about 6 yards. Going to be third and about 4. And I ran into Oak Ridge alum F.P. Santangelo there at halftime, Neil, a former Oakland A and Major League Baseball, now the color commentator for the Washington Nationals. He's here watching his alma mater, Oak Ridge. He's got a daughter that goes there. Kind of cool to run into FP. And they're down there at halftime. Nice to see pro athletes supporting their alma mater. Now, here's a spread formation, empty backfield, trips left, 2 to the right for Samuels. Good protection. He'll step up. He could have run for it. Now the linebacker comes in. Another dangerous pass. This time it pays off, and it's a Trojan touchdown.
Wow.
A 19-yard touchdown pass from Samuel, I believe, to Spain.
Impressive.
Was it Spain?
Play
There was a couple different players.
I think that might have been Nick Gordon. I'm not sure who they're crediting that to. That was Sipes.
Sipes, okay. So there was a big dog pile, and he threw it up there. Dangerous pass. That was very similar to the pass that got intercepted. You hate to see it throw right into trouble, but Sipes bails him out. A 19-yard touchdown pass. Extra point is no good.
And you know the head coach for Oak Ridge is over there on the sidelines, patting Samuels on the head, saying, "Nice play, kid. Don't do it again."
So 19-yard touchdown pass. Samuels to Sipes, and we got a ball game, folks. Don't go anywhere. It's getting good. Good, as we mentioned, a good opening possession for Oak Ridge. They needed it. They trail 14-9 right here on the Sac-Joaquin High School Football Game of the Week.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff. All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
.8:43 left to go in the second half. Granite Bay on top 14-9.
Look at where the kicker's lining up the ball right now to kick this one off. He's all the way on the left hash.
That's Josh Wellman. Oh, they're going to go for a quick little squib like a... Oh, and this could be big trouble. It's recovered by Oak Ridge. Unbelievable. So they go for the half a squib, half a onside kick. It bounced off of number 40. It bounced off of Conan, and it was recovered by 27, Jericho Hilari, the senior. Unbelievable, Neil. So Oak Ridge, with all the momentum, remember, they got to stop right before the half. They take the opening drive 75 yards. They get the, I'm going to call it a hybrid onside kick. Not quite an onside, but close to it. Bounces off a Grizzly player and recovered by the Trojans. They're rocking and rolling. Best field position of the day. They start at the Grizzlies' 43-yard line. What a turn of events.
Yeah, and momentum is everything in football, especially when you get into the college and high school football levels. And that fumble by kick returner Aaron Knapp right there, that could be a potentially fatal mistake for the Grizzlies. Still a lot of football to be played, though, but that was
absolutely
not the start to the half the Grizzlies needed.
Oak Ridge is going to call a timeout. We'll take a break as well. 8:43 left to go. Granite Bay 14, Oak Ridge 9, right here on the Sac-Joaquin High School Football Game of the Week.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you in one shot at this.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you in one shot at this.
after the timeout. First and 10 now for the Trojans. Hughes in the backfield. They go to him. Straight up the gut for a couple. Nice job of that defensive line stuffing the run there. Tyler Barty and Mason Conan in on the stop.
And if there's one thing this Grizzly defense has done well tonight, it has been defending against the run. They've only given up 60 rushing yards to this Oak Ridge offense.
Power I now as they'll send Dwelly in motion. Hughes and Martin in the backfield. They give it to Martin. Play action, actually. Throw across the middle. They get it caught to Dwelly. Inside the 20. No, he's going to be marked down in bounds at the 23. Great play action. Had me fooled, Neil.
Yeah, he had me fooled, too. I'm glad I wasn't out there playing defense. I would have been running the wrong way. That was just a well-designed play by Oak Ridge. That play action fake was A-class right there.
First time I can remember all season where I was fooled by a play action. 8 minutes to go. We got a ball game brewing here. Wellman in the backfield now. Two to the right, two to the left. Look for Sipes. It's to Wellman. He has a hole. Can he stay? He loses his balance, but picks up about 8 yards. It's going to be third and short. Make that second and short. Wellman having himself a game all of a sudden. He's got about 30 yards rushing on 5 carries. 2nd and 3 unofficially. 7:38 left to go in the third quarter. Alongside our in-game producer Brian Hassler and our videographer Tim King and my broadcast partner Neil Martin. Ben Schneider, happy to have you with us here for this D1 Sac-Joaquin section title game here at Sac State. Power I. Hughes and Martin in the backfield. 2 receivers to the right. And a whistle, and it could be a delay of game. And that's exactly what it is. So 2nd and 7 now. Move them back to the 20. To the 21.
And does this look a little familiar?
That's right. That's last time they went into the red zone. They had back-to-back penalties. They ended up throwing an interception. Red zone always so key in who wins a game. Red zone efficiency. So here we go. 2nd and 7 now for the 21. Martin in the backfield. Trips right. Late substitution for Granite Bay. They throw to the left. Good. Gets away from his first guy. They go back to Dwelly. And poor tackling there by Conan. He had him wrapped up. And so he had to get safety help.
Conan stood him up. Then Dockham had to come in and finish that tackle. Dockham still in for Spencer Castonguay at strong safety. Kind of something to keep an eye on just in case the Trojans start wanting to pass deep.
3rd and less than a yard. 7:10 to go. 4th trip of the red zone for Oak Ridge. They got a touchdown, a field goal, an interception, and now they will see what they do here. Big shift in formation here to start the play. Pitch back. It's to Wellman. Wellman has a first down. Gets away from it, and it's going to be 1st and goal Trojans after a 6-yard run by Josh Wellman.
That was a great run by Wellman, and the blocking on the right side of that line was impeccable. The motion sort of got the Grizzlies off their defensive set, and then the jumbo set just able to finish off their blocks downfield and get enough to spring Wellman for a first down.
Trips left as they'll send Martin in the backfield. Look for Dwelly there on the right side. They're going to give it to Martin, and Martin only gets a couple. It'll be 3rd and goal from the 7. 6:40 left to go in the third, live from Alex G. Spanos Sports Complex here at Hornet Field on the campus of Sacramento State, established 1947. Love the atmosphere here. Both bands on hand. Good crowd on hand as well. Everyone's made it back from those long lines at the vending booths. They go for the fade route. Oh, good coverage on the right side.
That was another junior defensive back, Luke Bussey. That's impressive. And Bussey, he's been a really interesting story for the Grizzlies this season. The starting corners for the Grizzlies this season were actually Zach Lilly and Nick Grace. Nick Grace got injured. Luke Bussey came in and then actually led the secondary in interceptions and tackles.
Sometimes it's all you need is an opportunity, whether that be injury or what it be. Power I now, 3rd and goal. 2 tight ends set for the Trojans. They're going to pass, rolling right, nowhere to go. So the Granite Bay defense holds, and now what do you do if you're Coach Calaveri? You've already missed a field goal. You're 1 for 2. You're looking at about a 23-yarder.
I think you take the field goal. I think you take the field goal. You're only down by 5 points. You're slowly climbing back into this ball game. Don't let the momentum swing back on you and
they're
turn the
go
ball
for
over
it
on downs, but he's going to roll the dice.
They're going to go for it. Hughes in for an extra blocker. Samuels out of the gun, trips left. Dwelly to the right. Here we go. Going to Dwelly. Oh, and he had him, but it's incomplete. So turnover on downs and another red zone stop for the Grizzlies.
And Luke Bussey steps up again. Impressive coverage there on the leading receiver for the Oak Ridge Trojans. The junior stepping up big time, both throughout the season and tonight. Still, though, even though Oak Ridge didn't get any points on that drive, the touchdown to start the half, I mean, that makes this game a lot more interesting now.
No, it absolutely does. Ellison in motion. What the Grizzlies need is a nice long scoring drive. Ellison for about 3 off the right guard. Tackle made by Malman. Don't forget, we'll be back tomorrow for the Folsom Elk Grove game, D2 section title. Pregame at about 7:20. You're not going to miss that one. Folsom's got an explosive offense. Elk Grove, an explosive offense via run. Folsom via pass. Ellison trying to get outside on the sweep. He does, but a flag comes in. It's going to be a hold. This is coming back. Ellison's going to make them work for it, however. Finally tackled at the 35, but it's going to be a hold. It's going to come back.
Another interesting stat on Granite Bay. Tony Ellison has had 8 touchdown plays this season called back because of penalties.
Oh, that's a great stat.
So I think he's a little cursed when he has long runs.
Team's moving like it's not going to be against Granite Bay. They're staying at the line of scrimmage. He usually comes in from the back. No, it's a face mask on Elk Grove. Looked like it was going to be a hold from where it is. Usually you don't see a face mask until towards the end of the play, but it was a face mask on the block. So that'll take it out to the 41-yard line, and Granite Bay looking to add to their 5-point lead here with 5:16 left to go in the third.
Yeah, and that was a face mask of the 5-yard variety. So either like you said, it was a face mask on the block, or maybe a tackle got a little piece of it as the runner was running.
Offset I, Ellison in motion. They pitch it back to Cooley. Cooley gets about 4 or 5. Pretty good run there on first. Tackle made by Buensley. Under 5 to go here in the third. Granite Bay on top 14-9. They got a 6-yard touchdown run from Cooley and a 9-yard touchdown pass from Caraway to Gerber. Those are your playing scores for Granite Bay. For Oak Ridge, they got a 27-yard field goal and then a 19-yard touchdown pass from Samuel to Sipes. This time they rush it with Partridge, the 3-year starters, close to a first down, about 2 yards short. Going to be 3rd and 2nd right there at the 49.
And that's a very typical scenario the Grizzlies use Partridge in. 2nd and 5, 2nd and 6, just to pick up 3 or 4 yards and make 3rd down. Very manageable, so Cooper can open up the playbook and throw in some motion, maybe some play action.
Split back formation now. 3rd and 2 as we approach the 4-minute mark. Oak Ridge almost jumped. They were lucky to get back. Inside give to Cooley. Cooley looks like he pushes the line for a first down into Oak Ridge territory.
And the Motion, really key on that play. Grant Caraway is a master of the hard count, and that's the second time tonight that he has tried to get Oak Ridge to jump off sides, but they haven't. So they run the ball with Cooley, and Cooley manages to keep the wheels turning for a first down.
Here's a long pass. Caught by Ellison down to the 15-yard line. Unbelievable. Pick up a 32 there on first.
Biggest pass of the night for the Grizzlies, and that more than doubles their night's passing total in one play.
Right. Ellison had 3 catches for 9 yards, but he gets one there for 32. Back inside the Trojan red zone go the Grizzlies. 1st and 10 from the 16-yard line, looking to add to their 5-point lead as the rain's starting to come down now at Hornet Field. What a play there, Ellison with over-the-shoulder grab. Offset eye now for Caraway. Ellison in motion. This guy never gets a break. Now he gets the ball in the end around, goes head first for about 3. He plays pretty much every down.
He is the man, and this is what we've been saying all season for Granite Bay. Ellison is the player that makes this offense go. The Grizzlies go as Ellison goes. He has a bad game. Typically, the Grizzly offense has a bad game, and the defense has to bail him out. If he has a good game, which more often than not he does, then it becomes quite a bit easier. And look at this, 153 all-purpose yards tonight.
Yeah, no, that's typical from him. 2nd and 8 now from the 14. Split backs with Ellison, who else in motion? They give, I believe, to Cooley, down to about the 11. Yep. And now we see a lot of rain gear coming out. Plastic bags and umbrellas. 3rd and about 5. Big play here coming up. This is the biggest play we've had so far in the ball game. 2:33 in the 3rd. Grizzlies with a 5-point lead and facing a 3rd and 5 inside the red zone. Trojans need to stop in the worst way. We'll see what they bring. Looks like 2 tight end set for the Grizzlies. They give to Ellison. Ellison gets a huge block. He turns the corner, and he dives for the pylon. Touchdown, Grizzlies!
Ellison, the man who makes it all work, with a huge run down the left sideline, and no play could have been bigger for the Grizzlies. Up by 2 possessions again, nearing the end of the 3rd quarter. That is arguably the biggest play of the ball game so far. That was impressively blocked.
Yeah, they did. They got a key block there on the outside edge. One guy took about 3 Oak Ridge players down with him. What a block. What a play. Set to kick the extra point is Colin Brown, the senior. And it's good. So with 2:15 left to go in the 3rd, Granite Bay 21, Oak Ridge 9. We'll take a break in the action. You're listening to the Sac-Joaquin High School Football Game of the Week, only on the Play On Sports Network. Back to the high school football game of the week here on the Play On Sports Network. Out-of-town scoreboard in Stockton. Oakdale leads Vista Del Lago 22-3. That's the Division III section title game. This one's 21-9. Granite Bay on top. And tomorrow we'll have the D2 game, the one everyone's talking about, Folsom versus Elk Grove. 7:20 pregame start for that one. Brown gets a nice big boot. That's going to be a touchback. Wow, what a boot by Brown. So the Trojans will start. They had the momentum there in the first half, but another stall inside the red zone has them trailing 21-9 right here on the Play On Sports Network.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you in one shot.
2:15 left to go. Oak Ridge, needs to get something going here. They're running out of time. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Hughes in the backfield. Low snap, rolling right now, throwing back left. Has his man, and it's good for a first down. A pick up a 12. So they go back to Dwelly. And Dwelly's had a fantastic game. That's already his 7th catch for he's over 80 yards on the game receiving.
Would not be surprised if Dwelly got well over 100 yards receiving by the end of the night. He's been a big part of this Oak Ridge offense, and if they're going to get back in this game late, look for them to look to him.
Power eye now. 2 to the right. Said Mantell in motion. Make that Brensley. Short drop, now rolling right. Throwing, and 50-50 ball. Interception.
Luke Bussey, the junior.
Yeah, guy that you were mentioning. Yeah, he's had a fantastic game. Not a good decision there by Samuels, throwing across the field like that into coverage. And Bussey gets his 3rd pick of the year. And Granite Bay in business now, looking for the knockout punch. 2nd interception for Samuels on the night. They've both been costly. Remember the one at the goal line and then this one when their team needed them most. So now I say you go for a long ball right here. I love after the turnover, you go for the home run right off the bat. A little play action. Go for the kill. We'll see what they do.
They're going to do that. Look at Graber lined up on the left side of the offensive line.
Ellison in motion. They hand it off to Taft Partridge, and he rumbles and bumbles for about 8. With 2nd and 3 for about 7 yards.
Just another one of those simple fullback draw plays. Nothing fancy. Simple downfield blocks, and Partridge takes it for a solid gain.
Well, and the success Ellison's had running outside, too. You got to be honest there. That's why that play action's so big on that sweep. Because Ellison can break one for 40 at any given point, so you got to be honest with him. Grizzlies in business. They lead 21-9, looking to tack on. Ellison in motion. And that's going to be legal procedure. Looked like the left tackle moved before the ball was snapped. A lot of Niner fans in attendance here tonight as the Niners will take on St. Louis this weekend. Well, it's offsides on the offense. That'll move him back 5. Going to be 2nd and 8 now from the 41. Rain holding up pretty nicely, but as our in-game producer Brian Hassler says, it's going to be raining buckets tomorrow night for our Folsom Elk Grove game. Well, that should be interesting.
It is interesting because it was supposed to rain buckets tonight, but all we've seen are little drizzles here and there. Weather's been good to us.
Supposed to have a half a foot of rain here in the Sacramento area. Fakes to Ellison, throw across the middle, and trying to go to Cerna, but it's incomplete.
And Cerna is one of those players where he's fast, and they use him in the slot a lot in terms of the passing game, but his one little, I guess you could say it, Charlie horse this year has been that he drops the ball sometimes. You know, he's a great receiver, really fast, runs great routes, but has a tendency to drop the ball.
Well, showing confidence going back to him. I think that's going to be a delay of game. And that's exactly what it is. So back-to-back penalties now for Granite Bay. They went 2.5 quarters without any. They've had back-to-back now. It's going to be 3rd and 13 from the 46. Deep drop, going for the home run. Right sideline, incomplete. And that's unfortunate because Allgood's going to get caught for pass interference, but all he had to do was turn around. That ball was 10 feet past the wide receiver. So all the breaks going Granite Bay's way, as Ogden, all he had to do was turn around, Neil, and he wouldn't have got whistled. You can't face guard a guy.
Well, and I'm not even sure that penalty should have been called, because the rule with pass interference is that it can't be called if the ball is uncatchable. And
yeah, but the thing is, he never turned around. I don't agree with the call. You're right, because it was 15 yards past the. Yeah.
That was an iffy one. That's one of those ones where the refs have a better view than we do. So you just got to trust that they see it better than we do.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. And they get the best in the business for these section title games. So 1st and 10 now from the 31. They pitch it back to Cooley. Cooley, what a good. Oh, he tops it up, and Oak Ridge has it.
Wow.
So that's big. Second turnover of the game for Granite Bay. And Oak Ridge gets the ball back right about where they turned it over. So turnovers, key factor. Now each team with 2. And that's what the Trojans needed. Because Granite Bay puts it in there, and you can pretty much the icing on the cake. And Cooley, a good run, maybe just trying to get an extra couple yards there.
Well, that's what he does. He's a power runner, so he always tries to get that extra yardage. But it didn't even look like the defender tried for a strip. It just looked like the ball was wet, and he just lost control of it. So
maybe a free play, as Granite Bay looked like they jumped off sides. No flag down. He must have gotten back. Pass was incomplete. They try to go back to Dwelly. Dockham on the coverage. 2nd and 10 now with 36 seconds left to go in the third. And Granite Bay leading Oak Ridge 21-9 right here on the Play On Sports Network. Nothing doing there. That run was stuffed out by Milo. Vince, defensive end, the senior.
Good open field tackle by Milo to stop the runner in the backfield. And now, after the big turnover, Grizzlies trying to make a big stand of their own and get the ball right back. Trojans needing a touchdown desperately, or at least a field goal.
That's the end of the third quarter with Granite Bay leading 21-9. One more quarter to go, folks. Stay with us. We got a good one brewing here at Hornet Field. And once again, your score after 3, Granite Bay 21, Oak Ridge 9, right here on the Sac-Joaquin High School Football Game of the Week.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff. All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff. All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/S.
Welcome back to the Play On High School Sports Network. D1 section title game between Oak Ridge and Granite Bay. Started the fourth quarter. Granite Bay's got their work cut out for them. They're moving right to left. They'll start at their own 21. Showing 21-9. Still a 2-possession game. Good protection, going for the home run. Down the right sideline, way overthrown. By a week and a half, intended for Dwelly. The long ball just hasn't been there, Neil.
No, great coverage by the juniors tonight. Typically, you expect your senior defensive backs to be making all the plays, but tonight the 2 juniors for Granite Bay's defensive secondary making all the plays. Jack Dockham in for Spencer Castonguay and Luke Bussey, who has been a starter since he came in to replace an injured Nick Grace. Grace, of course, now back on the field, starting with him. Zach Lilly no longer starting.
So, punt situation now for Oak Ridge. That was third down. And a pretty good punt. And it takes a Trojan bounce. Wow, look at this. This is going to net a bunch of yards. From the 20 to the 20. Wow.
60-yard
punt. Absolutely. Andy Lee's jealous. 11:42 left to go in the third. Granite Bay on top, 21-9 here on the Sac-Joaquin High School Football Game of the Week. Close enough.
It has it as 59 on here.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
All right, we're live from the campus of Sacramento State here at the Alex G. Spano Sports Complex. Granite Bay looking to go back-to-back. Oak Ridge looking for their first section title in over 30 years. Look at Ellison. Starts right, cuts back left, and he's finally pushed out of bounds at the 49-yard line. A pickup of 29 on first.
What a night he's having. Over 150 rushing yards now. And he's just a junior, so he's going to be back next season for the Grizzlies. He's a weapon and a threat to score every time he touches the ball. Used him both the running and the passing game. Reminds you of sort of a DeAnthony Thomas type of player.
Well, Granite Bay's got such a nice school, such nice facilities. It's really a first-class organization, top to bottom, and led by Coach Cooper. But they have every advantage as far as facilities go. And Cooley, the ball carrier for about 5. You go out to the campus, it looks like a junior college. I mean, it's impressive. One of the newer schools in the area.
Yeah, I've had the luxury of going there the past 3.5 years, and it is an excellent school.
11-minute mark. Granite Bay on top, 21-9. Split back formation for Caraway. They go to Partridge this time. He might break it. He might go, folks. 30, 20. Partridge going to take it to the house. Touchdown, Grizzlies. 53 yards. Unbelievable. And that might just be the nail in the coffin. Trojans fans are shocked. Granite Bay side erupts as Partridge goes for 47 yards and the touchdown. Great blocking up front. That puts Partridge over the century mark. They got 3 rushers, Neil. Ellison 153, Cooley 123, Partridge 102. Unbelievable.
And all 3 with a touchdown to their name as well.
Unbelievable. Going to make it hard to pick a player of the game. Extra point is good with 10:47 left to go. The Grizzlies in cruise control. They lead 28-9 here on the Play On High School Sports Network. Well, Granite Bay got on top 14-0, or 7-0, then 7-3. 14-3. Oak Ridge cut it to 14-9, and back-to-back second-half touchdowns by the Grizzlies. 11-yarder for Ellison, a 47-yarder there by Partridge has opened this one wide open. It's 28-9. Oak Ridge they got to pitch a shutout for starters. They got to score on every possession, and touchdowns, not field goals.
Yeah.
Good tackle there made. Big hit. Dylan Keeney. 6'5", 210, a junior. Whoa, what a hit.
He's the brother of graduated quarterback Brendan Keeney, who actually won the section title last year with Granite Bay. The ball runs in the Keeney family.
So Oak Ridge, you got to figure they're going to go to the pass now. I mean, they're running out of time. They can't settle for rushes. Wellman's in the backfield, 2 receivers to each side. It's going to be a pass. No, it's a draw for Wellman. Oh, and he picks up big yards. Look at this rush by Wellman. All the way to the 52-yard line. A pickup of 27 yards.
Huge run there, and Oak Ridge is going to need big plays like that all the way through the rest of this game if they want to win. That's exactly what you want to be seeing from your offense.
Wellman now 8 rushes for 58 yards. Granite Bay dominated most every asset, averaging 8.3 yards per play, I should say. Trips right. Quick pass into the slants. It's caught by Priest. So Priest gets his first reception of the night. Good for about 7 yards. Going to be 2nd and 3. Milo in on the stop for the Grizzlies.
Just a little hook route. Nothing fancy. Picks up 7 yards. Simple passes. It's what's working best for Oak Ridge.
2nd and 4. Trips left. Dwelly upright. Martin in the backfield. And play is whistled dead. Don't forget, folks, stay tuned to our PlayOnSports.com postgame show where Neil and I will select a player of the game. We'll recap this one, try to get you some scores from around the section, and get you ready for tomorrow night's game, Folsom versus Elk Grove. That's all coming up on the PlayOnSports.com postgame show immediately following tonight's action. Offsides on Oak Ridge, moves him back 5, going to be 2nd and 7.5. 9:46 to go here from Alex G. Spano Sports Complex on Hornet Field. Trips left. Dwelly split right with Martin in the backfield. Looking to Dwelly. And watch out from behind. He's rushed out of bounds. And a late hit. That's going to be a late hit.
On Cameron Smith.
Add another 14 there. No, it's on Conan, actually. He should have just let him go. He didn't need to tackle him out of bounds. Easy call to make there for the side judge.
Just a middle mistake there by the linebacker. Can't be having those late in the game, and that's a big break for Oak Ridge. First down and 15 yards, they'll take that.
Yeah, it's a free 15 yards, absolutely. And it's still within striking distance. I mean, they already saw Oak Ridge. They've forced an interception. They've forced a fumble. They've recovered an onside kick, so they have 3 takeaways. They can score here. Even go for 2. It's an 11-point deficit. I mean, there's still hope. But they got to put it in here and soon. Empty backfield, spread formation, trips left, 2 to the right. Sipes split just in front of us here on the home sideline. Steps up, going for the home run across the middle. Whoa! Wow! Unbelievable. Wow is right. What a grab by Priest. One-handed grab down to the 2-yard line. A pickup of 27.
Play of the game right there.
Wow. I didn't think he had any chance of catching that.
That's a Sports Center top 10.
1st and goal. Could be our PlayOnSports.com play of the week, too. Power I. Pitch back to Martin. He has the outside edge, and he's going to twist and turn. He's in for a touchdown. So Oak Ridge strikes back.
And more importantly, they do so quickly.
Yeah, no, you're right.
They do so in just over a minute and a half. Wow, so that's as good as it gets right there, especially if you're in the situation Oak Ridge is being down by 3 possessions late. Not only do you get the 6, but you do it in very little time.
And for Martin, he picks up his 13th rushing touchdown of the year. His 13 touchdowns are second to only Samuel's total touchdowns. They're going to go for 2 here. Martin's the back man. Hughes the fullback. They play action to Martin. Looks like Samuel's going to run for it, and he does. So they get to 2-point conversion. We got a ball game, folks. Still plenty of time. It's a 2-possession game, but the Grizzlies lead cut to just 11. Oak Ridge gets on board for the second time here in the half, and they trail 28-17 right here on the Play On High School Sports Network.
We can get a player up here.
Ah, that's good stuff. All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream.
Camera 3.
Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Ah, that's good stuff. All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream.
Camera 3.
Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
And we're back. Here's a kick, and it's going to be fielded by Ellison at the 8-yard line. Ellison rushing left, now cutting right, now going left. Not sure which way he wants to go, and he's going to be cut down at the 15-yard line. In on the stop for Oak Ridge is Zach Claiborne. Nelson in motion. They give to Partridge. And Partridge, look at this kid. He might just bust another one, folks. 50, 40, turns on the afterburners. Are you kidding me? Partridge goes 76 yards. Unbelievable. Let's add another 10. 86-yard touchdown run by Taft Partridge. And that might have just sealed the deal, folks. 86 yards. That's going to put him close to 200 yards. His second here tonight. Looks like, and it looked like Oak Ridge was stacking the box. 8 in the box, and once you get past that initial linebacking core, it's nothing but green field in front of you for Taft Partridge.
I cannot believe that a fullback just got an 86-yard touchdown run. And early in the season, Partridge was not that quick a runner. When he would get into open space, he would get caught in those kinds of situations. And I don't know whether he dropped a couple pounds or had somebody teach him better running form, but he is way faster than he used to be. And as a result, he's had 2 long touchdown runs here tonight.
Absolutely, and that was just the second play of that drive. He scored on a 47-yarder to make it 28-9 at the time. And then he goes for 86 yards there. Unbelievable. 35-17, and when Oak Ridge needed a stop, they give up an 86-yard touchdown run. So Partridge now, how about this for numbers? 8 rushes for 186 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's like 30 yards a carry almost. It's about 22, 23 yards per carry. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, folks.
Especially as a fullback.
Now Oak Ridge has to return this one. Low liner. Skilled at the 20. They need a big play of their own. We take it out to the 32-yard line. Take a break in the action. 8:46 to go. Granite Bay 35, Oak Ridge 17.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you in one shot.
Welcome back to the high school football game of the week, along with our in-game producer Brian Hassler and our videographer Tim King and Neil Martin, my broadcast partner. I'm Ben Schneider. Happy to have you with us here at the Alex G Sports Complex here on Hornet Field on the campus of Sacramento State. Good ball game, 35-17. Granite Bay's right about at their scoring average. They average 36 a game, and they got 35 here so far, but still with 8:41 to go. That one's sailed, intended for Spain, but that was overthrown by a week and a half. It'll be 2nd and 10 now from the 33. And Oak Ridge needs that big play.
Yeah, and I think that's a good call that they're going for that deep ball, but if they're going to go for that deep ball, they need to get better blocking from their offensive line. Samuels was under a lot of pressure right there on that play, and I think that throw was so long because he was just trying to get rid of it.
They run that draw again. That worked well to Hellman. No, they go to Martin, actually. My apologies. Remember, they got a big, like a 35-yarder from Wellman on that same play, that draw. It's been successful for them. Be about 3rd and 4. Another pass outside the Dwelly. Dwelly gets by the initial corner into Grizzly territory down to the 45. Pick up a 15 on 2nd and 3.
Oak Ridge marching methodically down the field, and if they can score in about another 30 seconds to a minute and make this a 2-possession game again, this will still be a ball game.
Under 8 to go. They got to get a quick score here. Empty backfield. Throw across the middle is complete to Priest. Priest was the one that made that unbelievable grab on their last possession.
Yeah, and that
full extension, diving backwards, one-handed grab.
That was key in setting up the Blake Martin touchdown run. Just 2 plays later. That was one of the best catches I have seen in a high school football game ever.
And you've watched a lot of games. Trips left. Coming back for it and making the catch. Now all the way down to the 18-yard line. They go to Spain.
And I like the awareness by Spain right there. He made that catch on the right side of the field, realized that there was a defender between him and the sideline, so he wasn't going to be able to get out of bounds and stop the clock, so he decided to cut back to the left and pick up some extra yardage.
Spain's 4th reception for 53 yards. Trojans got to get a score here, without a doubt. Try to run a little out pattern for Dwelly. It's incomplete. Little dump pass to Martin. Nothing much doing there. And, Neil, they're wasting a lot of time here.
Yeah, they really need to get in a quick touchdown if they want to have a chance. I'm surprised they haven't been taking some longer shots downfield.
Looking left the whole way. Throwing to the corner of the end zone. And going up and making the grab is Spain. Spain came back for it. The coverage was there, Neil, but a great pass and a great catch. 19-yard touchdown pass from Caraway to Spain. And it's not over yet. Just a 12-point game.
And the junior Jack Dockham finally gets beat. He looks shocked that he didn't make that play on the left corner of the end zone. And Spain with another spectacular catch. He and Priest have been making amazing jumping, flying, extending catches all over the field all night.
I said Samuels. I said Caraway. I meant to say Samuels. He's going to go for 2 here. It's just a 12-point game. This could make it a 10-point game. Fade route. Incomplete. So it'll remain a 12-point game, 35-23. We got a ball game, folks. Don't go anywhere. It's not over yet by any stretch of the imagination. 6:52 left to go in the ball game. Granite Bay 35, Oak Ridge 23 right here on the Sac-Joaquin High School Football Game of the Week. go for the onside. Oh, and did they get it? Neil, you had a good look at it. Flag comes in. I'm not sure it went 10 yards.
Looks like it might have been just short of the 10 yards needed, but I do think Oak Ridge recovered it. They did, but it looks like it might have been a half a yard short, if that.
Well, a marker did come down. Either they were offsides or it didn't go 10.
I honestly thought that it did go 10, or at least it might have touched a Granite Bay player. One or the other had to have happened. I'd be surprised if Oak Ridge doesn't get the ball here. I'm glad the refs are talking this over because I am really not sure why that flag was thrown. No penalty.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's what I thought. It definitely looked like that ball went 10 yards by about a half a yard. And even if it didn't, it looked like it might have hit a Granite Bay player on his leg. So I think that is the correct call. I think the refs definitely got that one right.
When that's the second onside kick recovered for the Trojans here tonight, they'll take over at their own 49, joined by just 12.
Plenty of time, too, and 2 timeouts.
For Granite Bay is now going to have to tighten the screws on defense. They haven't looked too good those last couple possessions here for the Trojans. Trips right. Spain to the right. He just caught a 19-yard touchdown pass.
Cooper demanding an explanation over on the other sideline.
Yeah, he's hot. But if it hits a Grizzly player, it doesn't matter if it goes 10.
Yeah, exactly, which is why one or the other looked like it occurred there.
Out of the gun, good protection. Throws, has his man Spain. Spain's been everything here in the second half. He's finally tackled at the 34-yard line. They pick up a 15.
I like that he cut back inside to get some extra yards there, but I think I would have liked it a little more if he had just ducked out of bounds and stopped the clock.
Well, he picked up about an extra 6-7 yards by cutting inside.
Yeah, so, either way is good, and Spain is one of those receivers that he can make men miss in the open field. I like where his head's at right now.
Yeah, Spain and Dwelly have been huge here in the second half. Here's that draw that's been very successful. Martin has a first down and more. Inside the red zone, down to the 18-yard line. They pick up a 16. So it's taken him 2 plays to go to about 35 yards. We've got an injured Grizzly player on the field. We'll take a break in the action. Good one brewing here, folks. Don't go anywhere. 6:28 left to go in the ball game. Granite Bay clinging to a 12-point lead. They lead 35-23 right here on the Sac-Joaquin High School Football Game of the Week. Senior DB, a good-looking player, and he's carried off, so that doesn't look good. I would say his return is very questionable at this point, but it's all about Oak Ridge right now. Empty backfield for Samuels. Time steps up. We'll run out of bounds at the 14, so good decision there. Picks up about 5 yards when nothing was going on downfield.
And he got Out of bounds quickly, managed to pick up some solid yardage in the process, and he made the right decision there. Great coverage downfield, and really made an aware play to just pull the ball down and get what he could.
Tripp's right. Martin in the backfield. No, actually it's Wellman. They give it to him. He's going to be short of the first down. Not a real great sense of urgency here by Oak Ridge.
Well,
they do have 2 timeouts, but I mean,
when the onside kick has been working as well as it has to them, maybe they don't need such a sense of urgency.
They're 2 for 2 on onsides. Same formation, except this time Samuel's going to go out of the gun with Martin in the backfield. Tons of time. Steps up, now rolls right. Throws across his body. It's tipped and almost intercepted. It's incomplete. It'll be 4th down, and this could be, I'm not going to say the deciding factor because there's still a decent amount of time, but this is by far the biggest play here yet tonight. 4th and 4, ball at the Granite Bay 12-yard line.
Gotta go for it, because if you kick the field goal, you'd still be down by 11.
Yeah. Well, you kicked a field goal, you're down 9.
9, yeah.
So, yeah, you're absolutely right. You got to go for it here. So here we go. Crowd on its feet. Tons of energy here at Sac State. We'll see what happens here. 2 to the left, Trips to the right. Looks like Granite Bay just going to rush 3. They'll send 8 in the coverage. Pass across the middle is incomplete. They want a flag. They're not going to get it.
Huge play there by the Grizzly defense, and Byron Spain wants an explanation. He's furious.
Yeah, you got to leave your helmet on, big guy. You got a flag for that. So the Grizzlies get the stop. And they'll start at their own 13. Now as we're get a linebacker just do nothing else except watch Partridge.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's been a beast here in the second half. He's got rushes of 47 and 86. That was in like about four plays, and 2 of them were those 2 huge plays. They go to Ellison here on the sweep, gets away from one guy and dives forward for about 4 yards. Makes something out of nothing.
Yeah, and he's done that all season. There have been several instances this season where he's been cornered against the sideline, and he makes a quick double move and makes 2 or 3 men miss at one time. He is one of the most agile players that this Grizzly offense has ever had in its history, so he has a tendency to do that.
2nd and 6 as we're at the 5-minute mark. I'd say about 3 first downs for Granite Bay, and they can start celebrating their 2nd straight section title. Ellison in motion, but they'll go to Cooley. Cooley picks up about 3, going to be 3rd and 3, and you might want to take a timeout here if you're Coach Calaveri.
Well, regardless of whether he takes a timeout or not, they need a stop right now on 3rd down if they want to win this game.
4:20 to go. Partridge and Cooley in the backfield. They give it to Taft, and he's stuffed short. So they get the 3 and out. And now you call a timeout, maybe. I don't like to let all this clock run. I would call a timeout here. You're going to get the ball back. 4 minutes to go, and you're trailed by 12. They get the 3 and out, though, Neil. That's huge.
That is huge, and there's still plenty of time, especially when your onside kicking game is working as well as it has been, and your defense is playing as well as it has in the second half.
And Priest can return one at any given time. He's got great speed on the outside. He's at the midfield, right at 50. Caraway to punt. Can't remember the last time we had a quarterback and a punter doing the same duties. And that one's going to be taken at the 46-yard line. So 3:22 to go. Still 2 timeouts for Oak Ridge. They trail by 12, 35-23. Here on the Sac-Joaquin High School Football Game of the Week.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff. All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
It's a personal foul on the sideline.
We got a sideline infraction, personal foul, so add 15 yards to the end of Priest's run. Gives the ball at the Granite Bay 39-yard line. They got to score here. They can't afford to turn it over on downs. They've already turned it over on downs 3 times today inside the red zone. One of those was an interception, 2 on failed 4th down conversions. Trips left. Good protection. Granite Bay's just going to rush 3. Throw back. Whoa. Incomplete. Almost a fantastic grab there by Priest.
That's a catch you got to make. Hit him right in the hands, and he just dropped that one. Got to make that catch.
2nd and 10 now with 3:16 to go. Granite Bay on top of Oak Ridge 35-23. Remember our PlayOnSports.com postgame show where Neil and I will select a player of the game that's coming up immediately following tonight's action right here on the Play On High School Sports Network. Looks like it looked like Dwelly was offsides to start that play. They go to Martin on a dump down for about 6. Grizzlies looking to go back to back. Third and 4. Time now becoming the enemy for the Trojans. Pass complete for a first down to Dwelly.
Not able to get out of bounds, though. That's pretty
that
big.
is big. Well, the clock did stop. Oh, that's reset
the
chains.
Yeah. Oak Ridge does still have 2 timeouts, though. So
Dwelly, 8 receptions now for 99 yards. Him and Spain, a combined 171 yards on 14 catches. So look for those two if you're Oak Ridge. Granite Bay just going to rush 3 again. Going for the home run. Tipped and incomplete, trying to go back to Priest.
good defense on that play by the Granite Bay secondary. Justin Priest would have had to make another spectacular catch if he had wanted to come down to that one.
Good play there by Powers. Second and 10 now from the 27. It seems like Oak Ridge has been on Granite Bay's side of the field for the entire second half, but they only have 2 scores to show for it. Trips left. Run the draw, fake the draw, set up the screen, and it's almost intercepted. Little trickery there.
Yeah,
but even if Priest catches that, he's tackled immediately.
Yeah, and it almost looked like that they tricked themselves. It looked like there were a couple offensive players that really didn't know what was going on, and as a result, that almost turned into a disaster.
Trying to do too much. So 3rd and 10. Trojans running out of time here, Neil. They need a first down here.
Absolutely. It is 2-down territory, though, so they might run a couple plays with that in mind.
Empty backfield, spread formation. Grizzlies rush 4. They get to the quarterback. He throws it out of bounds. It's all going to come down to 4th. That one's incomplete.
And Luke Bussey.
He's everywhere. Here in the second half, especially. So this is it, 4th and 10. Empty backfield, trips left, 2 to the right. Grizzlies going to rush 4. Oh, they get the play and keep the drama alive. They go back to Spain. Spain's 6th reception. They needed 10. They got about 13.
Huge catch by Spain, and now, right off the bat, they're going to need to look for the end zone, in my opinion. Look for Dwelly. Big, tall receiver, has 105 yards so far tonight.
Tons of time. Rolling right, throws across the middle. Interception, that's your ball game. Most likely. That's the second interception on the goal line here tonight. This one, Cameron Smith, the sophomore, 6'3", 220, gets the pick. That might just be the nail in the coffin. Second interception thrown. Make that the third interception thrown by Samuels here tonight. I mean, his numbers are a little bit all over the place. 25 of 49, 3 picks, 1 touchdown, and 314 yards. Like a Brett Favre type game. The gunslinger. I mean, he threw for a lot of yards, but the 3 picks eventually is what's going to do him in.
Yeah, and you got to give credit to the Granite Bay defense.
And not to mention 2 of them right there at the goal line. So now it's run out the clock time for the Grizzlies. Oak Ridge does have 2 timeouts left.
And if they were down by 1 possession, that might be a saving grace. But the fact that they're down by 12 probably isn't going to matter too much if they use those timeouts.
Cameron Smith picks up his 3rd interception of the year. That ties him with Grace for tops on the team.
Yeah, and the funny thing about that is that Grace is a DB and Smith is a linebacker.
Uh-oh. Is this Partridge?
Yes, it is.
Oh, my gosh. As if he doesn't have enough rushing yards on the day. That's going to put him over 200 yards. Unbelievable. What a performance from Taft Partridge. He's already got a couple of touchdowns. Well, he's making a case for our player of the game. How about this, Neil? 11 rushes for 235 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's video game stats.
Yeah, no kidding. The fullback. The fullback.
Right. Well, if he's a fullback, I mean, he's more of a hybrid. Cooley not going anywhere, but time is running out for the Trojans. They're going to call a timeout here. We'll take a break as well. 1:12 to go. Grizzlies on top, 35-23. Timeout left for Oak Ridge. I think, really all you're going to have to do here, Neil, 1 rush, and then it's victory formation time. Granite Bay is going to go back-to-back. Just too many turnovers for Oak Ridge. I mean, their yards are there. Uh-oh. Say goodnight. All the way down to the 4. And now it's Martin getting in on it. I'm sorry, Ellison. And that'll put Ellison over well, he's already been over the century mark. Unbelievable. How much yards are, I mean. They've rushed for 552 yards. Unbelievable. I mean, that's good. That's good enough for a month for a lot of schools. 552 yards. How about some credit to that offensive line? Unbelievable. Victory formation, folks.
And a classy move by the Grizzlies. You're on the 4-yard line. They're still in contention for a state bowl bid, and they're not going to run up the score and try and get some extra points. That's a classy move by Ernie Cooper.
Absolutely, and the crowd erupts over there on the Granite Bay sideline. They're going to go to 11-3. They're going to win the section title for the second straight game, behind 550 rushing yards. I mean, that's almost a joke.
Like you said, video game numbers.
Absolutely.
You have 3 running backs over 100 yards and 4 touchdowns between the 3 of them.
Unbelievable. That's going to do it, folks. That's going to be the last play. Granite Bay is going to win the Division I section title for the second straight year. Oak Ridge going to lose for just a second time tonight. Second time this year, I should say. They'll fall to 11-2. We'll be back with the PlayOnSports.com postgame show after a few words from our local sponsors. Once again, your final score, Granite Bay 35, Oak Ridge 23. The Grizzlies go back-to-back, and we'll be back with our player of the game and our postgame show right after this.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP. We
can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream.
Camera 3,
Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
all right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start?
Welcome back to the PlayOnSports.com postgame show where Granite Bay wins the section title for Division I for the second straight year. This year, they defeat Oak Ridge 35-23. Had a bunch of people that we could name our player of the games, including that entire offensive line. But we're going to keep it conventional here and go with junior Taft Partridge. He is your PlayOnSports.com player of the game. 11 rushes for 235 yards and 2 touchdowns and a staggering 21 yards per rush for the junior. And he's only going to get better. And the amazing thing that you mentioned, listed as a fullback, 235 yards.
Yeah, and he has been a 3-year varsity starter for this Grizzly football team. Of course, came in as a sophomore, didn't do a whole lot, sat on the bench most of the year. Last year as a junior, came out, provided some much-needed backup for the rushing game in stages of that big, high-powered rushing offense. And then this year as a senior, he has been really more of a moral leader. Hasn't put up huge rushing numbers, but these past 2 games, he has just put up astounding numbers for a fullback.
And his 2 touchdown rushes were 1 for 47 and 1 for 86. Let's go over some stats here. First downs was pretty even. Oak Ridge got a couple late, 24-22. But rushing yards, Granite Bay, 51 for 549. I'm going to average that out, too, just because I'm curious. And then for Oak Ridge, 25 rushes for 117. It's kind of like what we expected. Granite Bay was going to run. Oak Ridge was going to throw. Passing yards, just 57 for Caraway and 314 for Samuel. So he did a good job of getting his team back into the game. Total plays, here we go. Here's the average. 9.8 yards per play for Granite Bay, 5.8 for Oak Ridge. The interceptions were big, too. Samuels threw 3, Caraway just threw 1, and 2 of those were at the goal line. So that's big. Time of possession was pretty much even, 25-22. Third downs, 3 of 8 for Granite Bay, 7 of 15 for Oak Ridge, and Granite Bay got it done on fourth down, 3 of 4 and 2 of 4 for Oak Ridge. Taft Partridge, I mentioned 235 yards on 11 carries for 2 touchdowns. Tony Elson, not too shabby himself, 194 yards, 16 on 16 carries with a touchdown. And Cooley, I mean, this would be a good game. And it's his 3rd best on the team, 21 rushes for 126 yards for 1 touchdown. Wellman had 9 for 59 for Oak Ridge. Blake Martin, 7 for 35. Jason Samuel, 6 for 17. Tanner Hughes, 3 for 6. For receiving, Ellison had 4 for 40. Graber, his only reception was for 9 yards, but it went for a touchdown. Cooley had 1 for 8. Receiving for Oak Ridge, Dwelly had 9 for 105 yards. He had a great game. Same with Byron Spain, 6 for 84 and a touchdown. Priest, Martin, Wellman, Hughes, and Sipes all had at least 2 catches. And that's basically your breakdown, folks. Once again, your final score, Granite Bay 35, Oak Ridge 23. Any final thoughts on our player of the game, Taft Partridge, or any thoughts at all as you see Ernie Cooper down there talking to the section champs for the 2nd straight year?
Well, I think it's fitting. Taft Partridge, 3-year starter, comes in as a sophomore, improves his game, comes in as a junior, starts to put up some numbers, wins his first section title, comes out as a senior, the offensive leader for this football team, the only 3-year starter on that offense, and really, again, doesn't put up big numbers week to week, but in the semifinals and the finals of the section championships, he puts up huge numbers and is really one of the key reasons why they won the football game. Without him, think about it. That's 14 less
without him,
points.
He still rushed for 350.
Yeah.
But no, I know what you're saying. If it's not him, someone else is going to step up. And give all the credit in the world to that offensive line. They were fantastic tonight. Not only rushing for 549 yards, but Caraway had time, too, in the pocket. So when he needed to throw, wasn't rushed at all, wasn't sacked once tonight. So turnover is another big part. 5 turnovers for Oak Ridge. That's not going to get it done. So they turn it over 5 times. Granite Bay turns it over just the 1 time. It was on the goal line, but it didn't end up hurting them. 35-23 is our final. Granite Bay gets the victory over Oak Ridge. They are back-to-back Division I section champions, and they'll play a regional game next week. The date and time to be determined. Don't forget, folks, we got a fantastic game tomorrow. I've been looking forward to this one all week. That is Folsom, undefeated Folsom, taking on Elk Grove, who I believe has 1 loss on the year. So that's going to be a fantastic ball game. Kickoff at 7:30 for that. Our PlayOnSports.com pregame show will start at about 7:20. My broadcast partner, Neil Martin, any final thoughts before I sign off here from Alex G. Spano Sports Complex here at Sac State?
Great game played by both teams. Ultimately, though, 2 biggest things to look at. Oak Ridge with the big turnovers, and then really the deciding factor, average yards of play. Granite Bay 9.8, Oak Ridge 5.8, and that, I think, is where it was won.
Absolutely. So for our in-game engineer Brian Hassler and our videographer, the one and only Tim King. For my broadcast partner Neil Martin, I'm Ben Schneider saying so long. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow night for the Folsom Elk Grove Division II Section Championship game starting at 7:30. For everybody here, and for Brian Berger too, our sports information director here at Sac State, giving us our monitor and hooking us up with a great view here, right here at the 50-yard line. So for Brian Berger, for Brian Hassler, for Tim King, for Neil Martin, I'm Ben Schneider saying so long. We'll see you tomorrow night right here on the Play On High School Sports Network.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.